Hello viewers, long time no see. I'm Alejandro. Happy New Year. I've been absent for 1 year and a half. I think it was after the pandemic, after the lockdown we had here in Argentina, that I began recording new videos. But well, then I had to stop because of my job, my main job. And now today I was thinking, let's record a video about living in Argentina, since I've been here already 5 years. Last year in October, they were already 5 years in this country since I arrived. So I said, wow, I really like this. I live in Buenos Aires, so my point of view, my perspective is from the main, the capital city. But I have had the opportunity to visit some places. Well, since I'm in the touristic field, I'm in contact with a lot of people, domestic, national people, from abroad. So that gives me a perspective of what it's like to live in Buenos Aires, so I can share some experiences. Well, first of all, Buenos Aires is a really beautiful city. The last guests and tourists I've spoken with, they have given me really good feedback. It's a really touristic city. It's really clean, beautiful. You have a lot of culture. You have a lot of theaters, a lot of plays. Well, soccer. I mean, Argentina is a world champion, and it was amazing. Well, the celebration, it was crazy. For 2 days, the main streets, the highways were closed. They were crowded with people celebrating. In the end, well, you know that alcohol and euphoria sometimes don't get well, and we had a couple of issues in the end, but I mean, it was a really nice celebration. It was something that unique. Well, if you come to Buenos Aires, you have a lot of places to visit, a lot of things to do. You have a lot of theaters, a lot of music, a lot of bands, tango, food. It's awesome, especially meat. If you come to Buenos Aires, you have to try our meat because it's unique, it's soft, it's delicious. Even if you don't add anything, even if you don't add any salt, the taste is unique and it's tasty. You're gonna love it. Now, I would like to do this video for those who are thinking to come and live, what the opportunities are, what's like the kind of life you are going to have. I work in a hotel in the front desk currently, and I've been working in that hotel, I mean, the last 5 years since I arrived. I mean, I arrived and I began to work in a tour agency, but then like 4 months later, I got hired by this hotel, a 5-star hotel, and I've been there all these years. So it's been amazing. A lot of people going and coming, and well, I began from zero. I arrived here without anything. I mean, I didn't have my bed, only my bag, my wife, and my daughter. And we began in a really small apartment. Then we moved. After I got this really nice job, I was able to move to a nice house where I've been all these years. Well, it was a kind of easier when I arrived. There was the politics were different. They didn't have this economic crisis they are facing, but according to Argentinians, they have always been in a crisis, economic crisis. It's like a roller coaster. You have ups and downs, and that's what the Argentinians have told me. Some years you are up, so you have to take advantage, save money. If you are an entrepreneur, that's the wave that you have to surf, to take advantage and open up a business, something, because then they go down. Well, I think Latin America is the same. We have ups and downs, but currently 2023, even if you see the news, in my experience, for example, I got a brand new car last year. Even when people tell you that no, it's impossible, the crisis, you don't pay. If you work, for example, I have 2 jobs, and that's I'm taking advantage of my youth. I mean, if I am able to do it, I'm gonna do it. And it's a country where I have the opportunities to do this, to save money and work a lot, but they pay me well. But other people are gonna tell you that no, it's difficult, and yes, they have their reasons, they are right as well. So let's talk about the culture. Argentinians are friendly. It's wait just 1 second. Sorry, an emergency. Okay, so they are really friendly. Something I've liked about Argentina is that they are open to immigrants. I haven't seen here racism. They love immigrants. They treat them as their own. Well, if you study the history of this country, it was created by immigrants. Most of the population are descendants of Italians, Spanish, yes, mainly Italian and Spanish. Most of the last names you are going to see here are Italian last names: Tricerri, Agostini, Sabatini, and other ones are going to be Spanish. You have also people from the Arab countries, but mainly those are the two main countries that migrated and founded this country. So they are open to immigrants. If you come to work and if you come to follow the rules, they are going to be happy. As in any other country, if you respect the law, it's going to be awesome. So that's a really good point, because I haven't felt rejected not at all. So they give you the same opportunities, which is something good. If you come to give something, to work hard, to be part of the growing of the economy. If you have studies, if you graduated from college, that's an advantage. You are going to find a job and you are going to have a nice salary. Even with inflation, during the year, with something they call paritarias, that it's like the labor union working with the government and fighting to level the salaries according to the dollar. That's good. Something I've seen is that there's inflation, but they compete, or they try to fight the salaries to reach not the dollar, because that doesn't happen, but to compare it or to get it closer, so you can have basic stuff, minimum your food, which is something, if you compare it to other countries, this food here is cheap. You have a lot of restaurants, you have a lot of options, varieties, and even going to the supermarket, you get access to basic stuff, and they are not expensive. If you work well, if you work hard, you don't have to worry about food. Housing, yes. Real estate, that's expensive. That's something kind of tricky and difficult. First of all, because it's really expensive. Something really small, it can cost a lot of money. So most of the people here rent. They don't. I mean, the owners most of the time are really old people, the first settlers, or yes, the grampies are the ones who have apartments and they rent it. Most of them. I'm not saying that all of them, but most of the people here rent. Yes, if you come here, let me tell you this: you can rent a temporary apartment or house. When you look on the internet and says temporary, it's either for 1 week, for 5 days. For example, if you go to the beach, if you go to the touristic places, you just rent for 5 days, 2 days. You can do it through Airbnb. It's become really famous here. Or you can look up any website, any real estate website, and you're going to see different offers. That's temporary. You don't need anything but money and your documents. If you're a tourist, your passport, and they are going to make a contract for the amount of days you are hiring or you are renting, sorry. The other case is when you come to live, that you need an apartment, an empty place, so that you can buy your refrigerator, your table, your bed, all those stuff. That's a kind of difficult. Or if it is not difficult, it's going to be way more expensive. Why? Because here in this culture, in this country, they ask you for like a warrant, like yes, a document. You, for example, if I want to rent an apartment, I have to put a warranty from a family member, someone who has a house here. So he gives his document, the title of his house, in guarantee that I'm going to pay the rent. If I don't pay the rent, they sue or they begin a trial, a process. That person who gave the title, who offered the title as a guarantee, as a guarant for my rent, is going to begin losing his house, or he has to pay the rent, or they are going for his house. So that's something really difficult for those who come to this country and don't have relatives, don't have anything here, to find an apartment, to find a house to live. How do you do it? You need an insurance company that you pay a lot of money. They give this certify or this warrant to the person who is renting his house, but after 2 years you lose that money, because after 2 years you have to renew the contract, and when you renew the contract, of course you are the same immigrant with no relatives here, with no house, and you need to pay a lot of money, that it's a big amount, for that insurance. So that insurance, it's to be used in case that you don't pay the rent. I mean, you are 1 year living here paying the rent, then you get fired, you don't have money, you have to continue paying the rent. You don't do it, the person, the owner of that house is like, okay, I mean, you have a contract. Now they go to the insurance pays that money for you. Well, that's the deal. That's why when the contract is over, even if you paid really well, they are not going to give you anything back, because you didn't have any warranty, any house here to put as a deposit. So that's the issue here. Then jobs. You have a lot of opportunities here. If you are a professional, you have a lot of opportunities. If you speak English, if you speak Portuguese, if you speak Spanish, of course, it's the official language, Spanish. But if you speak Portuguese, you have a lot of business here that are related to Brazil, that it's our neighbor country. If you speak English, it's perfect, because tourism is one of the gross domestic products of their incomes in this country. You have a lot of tourism. Well, I would say Argentina is the number one country offering the best tourism in Latin America. Not only because they have really good sightseeing, really good places, but because they are, I mean, it's their way of life. In Argentina, you are going to see tourists all around, everywhere. So you have a lot of tour agencies, a lot of companies, transportation, everything made for tourists to have a really nice time. You have the Patagonia, that if you come to Argentina, you really have to go to Patagonia. It's amazing. It's something where movies are made and filmed. Those sightseeings are seen there, and they are awesome. I mean, it's a really nice experience. So if you come to Argentina, the first thing you have to do is visit the Patagonia, Bariloche, the end of the world, Ushuaia, that it's beautiful. You see whales, penguins, and those stuff. The glaciers, the icebergs, all those stuff are really awesome and are unique. So if you come, you have to go there. So tourism, it's one of the incomes in this country. Then you have meat production. You have a lot of land, crops. They export soy, they export corn, wheat. So they produce a lot of those stuff, and if you are in that business, it's a really good opportunity. Sports, well, soccer or football, depending on the country you are watching this video. Well, here we export a lot of players. If you see the European League, you have a lot of Argentinians playing in those teams because they are really good. And football here is like, I would say, like a religion. They are really fanatic about it. They are, I mean, it's something polemic as well sometimes. I'm not really into soccer, but they do, and they are fanatic. They take it seriously, and well, it's part of the business in this country. What else? Well, driving in Argentina. If you are from countries like Canada or United States or England, maybe it's going to be frustrating in the beginning because you have laws, yes, but you have a lot of cameras around, but sometimes here, I mean, basically in Buenos Aires, they don't respect the law, they don't follow the rules. If they have the opportunity of doing whatever they want, they are gonna do it. You are driving and suddenly someone gets in your way without using the turning lights, they can speed sometimes. They are going to be fined, but I don't know why they keep doing this. So you have to respect the law basically, but don't get frustrated because they are kind of crazy while driving. And if you are used to your countries and maybe you follow your rules, everybody drives in a good way, in a good manner, and then here is some chaos. And something that I've seen here is that a lot of them, I would say all of them, drive really close to you. I mean, if for example, someone gets in the middle of the road, or a dog crosses the street, and you have to push the brakes, I mean, you have a lot of possibilities to get crashed with the car that is behind you because it's really close. They don't keep the distance, the regular distance you should. So that's like, sometimes it bothers me because, I mean, you have it, you can see it in the mirror that they are really pasted to your back. So you have to deal with those stuff, but I mean, yes, they have rules. You have a lot of signs. The roads are really nice to travel. I went to Bariloche. Those were like 18 hours, 1,500 kilometers approximately, and it was awesome. I mean, everything, you have signs everywhere. They tell you if something happened. They tell you in advance, hey, reduce the speed because we are working in 2 kilometers. Pay attention, beware. Those stuff are good and the roads are in really good conditions. You have a lot of transportation, a lot of big trucks in this country because yes, they produce a lot of crops, a lot of food, and they have to transport those food from one state to another one. So basically they invest in infrastructure, so it is really well being kept. What else? Well, basically this is a really nice country for tourists. Right now it's a really good opportunity because let's talk about the dollar. Here this new government that began in the pandemic put some restrictions to the dollar. That makes it more difficult for us because it creates a black market. The official price or the official value, it's one, and the extra official value, it's a different one. But you have a gap in between. You don't have access to the official dollar because it's blocked, it's locked. I mean, a few people can get it, and just in a specific terms. You can buy dollars, but it's going to be in the black market and it's way more expensive. But for example, if you are a tourist, that's the dollar they are going to exchange. If you bring dollars, that's the one it's going to be exchanged. So you are going to have more pesos for the dollars you bring, and that's going to help you if you are paying food that is cheap, if you're paying accommodation, that you can go to a luxury hotel and pay something that normally in your country it's going to be way more expensive, and you are paying half of it. So if you're a visitor or if you are a tourist, right now it's a really good moment to come and visit this country. And also if you want to invest or to buy some businesses, I don't know the politics about being an investor in this country. And yes, I don't know anything. I'm not going to give you an advice. Sorry, I'm not gonna give you an advice on business, but I recommend you to study those numbers really well. But there are really good opportunities taking advantage of the inflation. So I see, just one second, I see that something happened to the camera. Let's take advantage. We have a red light. Very good. In my experience, I have had good opportunities here in Argentina, even when it is sometimes expensive because of the taxes. Here we pay 25% of the added value. I don't know what is it like in your country, but if you buy something here, you have to pay 21% of the price for taxes. For me, that's a lot. And you have other taxes if you open up a business, but if you are really well organized and really well planified, you have a lot of opportunities. If you are in the touristic business, it's a good place. It's really touristic. It's really beautiful, this country. If you are an entrepreneur and you come here with a good idea, you are going to make a lot of money. We export also a lot of talent and developers, software developers. They create a lot of those stuff here. For example, Mercado Libre. It's the creator is Argentinian, and it's one of the best enterprises here in Argentina. And we have other ones. So, if you want to come and live in Argentina, it's a really good place to begin. They are friendly. You have a lot of places to visit. You have a lot of activities to do. Culture, you have a lot. If you come to learn Spanish, it's a really good opportunity. For example, right now we are hosting a university that they came basically for 1 or 2 months just because they are studying Spanish, and they could have been in other countries, but they came here because it's cheaper. They are Americans. They are from United States, and I mean, they do more things here in a really nice place because it's cheaper due to the inflation and the exchange. So I hope that this video helps you if you are thinking of moving to Argentina. If you have any question, you can send me a message right in the comments. I've been here, I'm giving you my point of view according to my experience. I've been here for 5 years and I have been in contact with a lot of people, locals and foreigners. So I have those feedbacks, what they feel if you're a foreigner or you are a tourist, what they live, how they live it, if they like it, what they don't like, and locals, what they do, how they are. And well, I think that I should do another video talking about only Argentinians, the culture, their customs and those stuff. Write me in the comments if you have any questions, and thank you very much. Have a good day.